that whole COVID, there's so many layers to it. One, it was just a test run. It was a primer to set up the beast system and the mark of the beast. But to me, it's also the beginning of World War III. Okay, it against the people, the technocratic cartel, or it's basically in mafia system, the industrial complex system, beast system against us. The war started, but unfortunately, many are still blind and deceived. They don't realize that, they still believe in the false propaganda, and they went along, and that saddens me terribly. So
Well, speaking
yeah,
of war, because since you and I last spoke,
yeah,
this Iran stuff came into the spotlight. Now, I was I suspected way back in 2003 when the attack on Iraq happened
yeah,
that that was just one milestone that they wanted to achieve, and that they would also go after Iran eventually, and that they would
yes,
create some false
yeah,
flag event in
yeah,
order to blame Iran so they could have
yeah,
their war and take over
yeah,
and so on. And so I'm kind of surprised it's taken this long, more than
yes,
20 years that they've done it. And also
yeah,
there isn't even the kind of pretense that happened with the invasion of Iraq, because I mean you may remember so this is the first Gulf War One where they
yeah,
concocted this story about Iraqi soldiers taking babies out of incubators.
yeah,
And then Gulf War Two, where they were trying to create connect Saddam
yeah,
Hussein and weapons of mass destruction and
yeah,
9/11. But at least on that occasion, they did all this theater of the
yeah,
United Nations, and they were having this sort of grandstanding showdown between the five nations of the Security
yeah,
Council, and Colin Powell making his
yeah,
absurd speech, and then the
yeah,
French saying no, you can't, and
yeah,
all this sort of thing. They've not even made that kind of pretense this time. There's been
yeah,
nor has there been any involvement of Congress. So
yeah,
what is going on? And I'm questioning how, even if this conflict, how real is it?
yeah,
And I remember because I read in 1984, George Orwell's 1984.
hmm,
So a lot of people talk about Memory Hole, for instance, or Newspeak
yeah,
and Big Brother. Uh, so these are all aspects of 1984, and they're important ones. But there's another aspect of 1984 where Julia and Winston are having a conversation, and Oceania is at war with Eurasia, and
hmm,
there's East Asia. Are they at war with East Asia? All that stuff going on. Well, she says to Winston that she doesn't think the war is real, that it isn't
yeah,
actually happening, and that the
yeah,
rocket bombs being fired on the people of London are being fired by their own government on their own citizens
yes,
in order to stir them up and whip them up into a patriotic
yeah,
fervor, so they will support
yeah,
their own destruction,
yeah,
and they can have even more wealth disparity than they already had before, and launder even more of the people's currency.
yeah,
So the, the word enthusiasm. The word enthusiasm comes from entheos, in
mm,
God. My
yeah.
heart has no enthusiasm for this purported war. So I'm just wondering, do you have any sort of inkling about how real any of it is?
Abdiel, I'm going to be totally honest. I not given it any attention. I've
Yeah.
not
So
watched any
so you
video.
don't have any enthusiasm for it either. And when they have these so-called experts coming on, even on
Yeah,
way alternative channels, saying, oh, this is how the war is going, and these are the weapons that these two sides are
yeah,
using, and this was shot down, and
yeah,
that was shot down, and or no, it was a military accident, and no, it was friendly fire. And all this shit, all this like analysis that is so baseless.
That's it.
So you have no interest in it, and so you don't have. You're not in theos. Your heart is not engaged with this whole script and this whole narrative any more than Sandy Hook or Butler, Pennsylvania, or all the other staged events.
It's exactly that. It's like when I totally disengage from their so-called false prophet media, the so-called mainstream media. It's just theater and whatsoever. It has no credibility to me whatsoever. It's like it's a bit like if you're watching a movie, at least you're being entertained, and why would I watch so-called news programs? It's nothing new. In fact, it triggered a memory in me. What was it? Aaron Russo, when he talked with one of the Rockefellers, who took him in confidence and basically hinted that this was before 9/11, that they would create an event, and basically he was talking about 9/11, and then he disclosed, we're going to invade Iraq, and then a whole list. And that's also in general. I've posted the videos on my Substack, but that was also soon after, what was it, around 9/11, and that he got a memo from one of the Pentagon staff members, and they had a list of countries they would invade.
Yeah.
And so it was Iraq.
General Wesley Clark, was it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And Iran was the last on the list. So from that perspective, I had the same thing. They're there now. But it took a bit longer, because at that time they said we will do it in 5 years, but that was a bit of big speak. It's taken them a bit longer. But Iran, it's the last country on their list, and you kind of need to wonder, okay, have they completed that program then? And it is everything now in line? Is everything divided?
I had a dream, I guess this was maybe a year or two after 9/11. And I saw this very large commercial airliner.
Yeah.
And it said Delta Airlines on the side.
Mm-hmm.
And it climbed really, really steeply over New York City.
Mm.
And then it plunged down into the city.
Yeah.
And there was nuclear material aboard.
Yeah.
So it was kind of creating a dirty bomb effect. And I wonder if that presages the kind of false flag event that they've wanted to do to try and instigate something against Iran.
Yeah.
And as I said, I'm surprised that it's taken this long, and I'm surprised they haven't kicked off with a false flag event, but that doesn't mean there won't be one.
Yeah.
And perhaps because now so many people are kind of onto them and wise to it. And we're kind of saying, a major spectacular terrorist event on US soil. Okay. False flag. Yeah. Made for TV. Fear mongering. There's so much skepticism, and they've cried wolf so many times that we kind of shrug our shoulders. Maybe they just don't have the same kind of effect that they want from false flags.